In this conditional and loops, now the first we are going in the conditional and the loops. Conditions are used to perform different computational actions depending on whether a condition evaluates to true or false. The if statement is the conditional structure. Because it has statements when an expression is true for this reason, the if is also known as the decision structure. It takes the form like this: if expression and the statement to be executed, the expression evaluates to either true or false. Okay, and statement can be single statement or the code block enclosed by curly braces. So for example, if it can be either on the statement or can be the code block enclosed by curly braces. So this is the code we check whether the score variable is greater than 75. Yes, this is greater than, then the printf is condition is true and the printf will be executed. So in this, fill in the blanks to compare the variables and print hello to the screen. So in this, if statement, if a is less than, so fill in the blanks to compare the variables and print hello. Okay, you have to print hello. So to print hello, a is less than, a should be greater. So in this you can have 10. No. So if b, if a is less than, a is greater than b, so in this a is greater than b, so hello will be executed. Continue. Relational operator. There are 6 relational operators that can be used to form boolean expression with true or false, like less than, equal to, greater than equal to. This is equal to and this is not equal to. For example, this in sum 41 in 40, if norm is equal to 42, and this is true statement. Non evaluates to a non-zero value is considered true. For example, if in stock order received, an expression that evaluates to a non-zero variable to be considered, which is the correct operator for equality testing. This is if equal equals. Okay, the if statement can include optional else clause that execute when the false in the expression is false. For example, the program evaluates an expression then executes else clause statement. In this, score is 89, and if score is greater than equal to 90, then top 10% is, otherwise less than 90. Okay, this is simple. So in this, fill in the blanks to print more than 10. Okay, you have to print more than 10. You have to print this statement if the people variable is greater or equal to 10. Okay, so if people variable is this people variable is greater or equal to 10, then it will be print else. So it is greater. Okay, in these two statements it is greater, so the print this statement, if statement will be executed. Next, condition. Another way to form if statement is by using, this is the snippets. So if and this operator, which is non operator in a conditional, this this question mark colon operator can be can have only one statement associated with if and the else. Okay, in this statement, int main, int y, int x is equals to 3, y is equals to x, x is greater than 5. So no. So is if it was greater, then it will print 5. If it's not greater, then it will again print x. This is equivalent to if x is greater then it will print 5, else print x. So let's give the quiz. Blanks to use a conditional expression to assign 8 uh, 8 to 8 to y if x. So I fill in the blank expression to assign 8 to y if 8 to y question mark greater if x is less than, I think this. So if x is greater, in this case it is greater than 5, so it will, then y will be assigned 8, otherwise y will be assigned to x. Check. Well done. Now moving on to the next, what we have here is nested if statement, and if statement can include another if statement to form a nested statement. Nesting an if allows a decision to be based on further requirement. Consider the following statement: if profit is greater than 1000. Okay, if profit is greater than 1000, then only it will go to this inside this. And again, if clients are more than 15, then it will give bonus is equals to 100 and bonus 25. If they do not provide, okay, appropriately indenting nested statement will help clarify the meaning to the reader. Be sure to understand that else clause is associated with the clause just if, unless curly braces are used to associate if profit this, and this else statement will be directly executed if the, okay. Now we're missing parts. So in this, if x is greater than 22, yes, greater than, then it will, if x is again greater than, I think print, let's check it. Okay, continue in among 3 or more. If else if later statement can be used. There can be multiple else if clauses, and so 1 minute. The streaming, so there is now when the decision among 3 or more actions is needed, else if statement we need carefully consider the logic of else if later statement. Let's go to this. If num is greater than 0, it is not going to print a positive. Else if num is less than 0, okay, it is negative, else it is 0. So this is if else if later conditional statements. These are the switch statements. Switch statement branches the program control by matching the result of the expression with a constant case value. The switch statement often provides the more elegant solution to else if else if statement. The switch is like switch, there should be expression and the curly braces style. The case is this statement will be executed and break, and if this also contains the default. This example, int norm is equal to 3, switch norm, okay, this norm, if the norm is 1 then 1 to this, in this case this is, and break here and the switch case will terminate. But if there was 5, then default statement would be executed 1 then this and break, then this line. In the default statement we do not need break. Which choice shows the correct syntax for the switch statement? This. So the switch test condition, test variable, test condition, and the switches. Multiple cases, a unique level. There are default cases. The break statement needed. Okay. Now there can be the multiple cases with the unique levels. The option default case is executed when no other matches are made. Okay. And the break statement is needed in each case to branch to the end of the switch statement. Break statement program execution falls through the next case. Okay, without the break statement, without this break statement, the all other case after the cases also will be executed. Caution must be switch. This modification later can lead to unexpected outcome. So in this case, here we have to use switch statement. In this case, switch norm is the switch case 3. In the case is 5. So the break statement in every, let's check it. Well done, figure. In the logical operators and or are used to form the compound Boolean expression that test multiple conditions. The third logical operator is this, which is not used to reverse the state of the Boolean expression. Used to reverse the and operator returns the true if the both expressions are true. Okay, in this case, if n is less than 0 and if n is greater, okay, if n is greater than 0 and n is less than 100, then only it will print this statement. Consider if. So for this if and okay, if n is greater than equal to 0, which is true, and n is less than 100, which is also true, if these both the conditions are true, then only we will execute, and in this condition only we should use and operator. And operator, this is the or operator, same like this, but it returns the true result even if one condition or one expression or both expression are true. Okay, so let's check with the not operator. If these both are not, so if this in this the logical not operator and returns the reverse of its value, not returns the value. It will alter the value. Okay, it will directly alter the value. If it is true, then it will print false. If it is false, then it will print true. What is the output of the following code? So in this program, in this problem, if the integer is assigned with 3, if x is greater, okay, x is greater than 2, which is true, and y is less than 0. No, this but the in the here the end of or operator is used, which was true, but it was altered to false. Then I think it will print false. Yes. Ah. Now the while statement loop is called the loop structure, because it executes statement repeatedly while an expression is true, looping over and over again. It takes the form. This is the form. It the expression evaluates to either true or false. The statement can be single statement or commonly a block code enclosed by curly braces. For example, hashtag include stdio.s while count is less than 8, which is true. Ability this may cause runtime error. These are the simple, but you should know about this in this n plus plus. The do while loop do until do while loop execution before evaluating expression repeatedly. This is the form, and for example do this while. So in do while statement the expression evaluates to either for true or false, and statement can be single statement or note the semicolon after the while statement. Okay, the do while loop always executes at least once, so because do is in the first position, so this will print, but after the while condition matches or not, then it will go to the next loop or will break. How many number will the file go output? Do while count is less than 8, it will print 8 numbers. No, so it will print 9 numbers because okay, so it will, excuse me. So what is in the int count is equal to 0, print a percentage d slash n count, this will print 1, okay, 1 and a count plus plus 1 count is equal to 7, this is 7, continue, okay, that was 7. To break the loop when num becomes 2, while while if num is equals to 2, break, I think, okay, to break. The for statement is a loop structure that executes statement of fixed number of time. Okay, in the for statement always execute a statement for a fixed number of time, because we give the initial value, the final value, conditions, and the incrementing values, and the statement to be executed. So the max, okay, the init value is the counter set to an initial value, this part of the for loop. is performed only once the condition is a boolean expression that compares the counter value. The increment increases or decreases the counter by the set value. For example, the program below displays 0 through 9. In this, for in percentage, so it will print the x for loop. For loop can contain multiple expressions separated by commas. For example, this you can execute 7 I j loop can be then nested also to break in the and continue with the. How many times will the following for loop run? I equal to 0, so I less than 5. It will run 5 because it is running from the 0. Fill in the blanks to store the input in the age variable. Scan ampersand age. If age is greater than 21, then the triangle. Else, if age is less than 10, then the study math. Wow. For the do while using do while do. So in this do, then the first this first statement will execute, and a while and a break. Fill in the blank to print SoloLearn to the screen 3 times using for loop. So for init I equal to 0, I less than 3, the SoloLearn will be printed 3 times. Find a way to print corresponding test representing the numbers using the switch case. So switch, if case is 1, then print will be 1, and the break if the case is 2, print 2, and the break it will break here only. If the case is 3 break, and default is also there. Type in a code to print I can drive if the age variable is greater than 17 and is less than. So if age variable is greater and okay, and if you are over 99, then you can't drive. So coming off the functions array, this is the most important part. I think this is the most important part, and this is the intermediate part of C. So the functions are central to C programming and are used to accomplish a program solution as a series of subtasks. Okay, is the central. Okay, function is the main part, and are used to accomplish a program solution in the form of small tasks divided functions. So if we see the syllabus, we have completed this. So there are many things: file handling, memory. We are in the function recursive function, arrays, two-dimensional pointers, more on pointers function. So let's start. 5 quizzes, 1 quizzes, 3 quizzes, 2 quizzes. Function have 5 quizzes out of the last 2 quizzes. Okay, let's go. Function is a central C program that are used to accomplish the programming solution as a series of subtasks. By now you know that every C program contain a main function. Okay, every functions contain the main function, even void also is main function. So, and you are familiar with the printf function. Okay, we are familiar with this printf function, which is used to just print a line give the output. So you can also create your own function. A function is a block of code that perform the specific task. Okay, it will perform the specific task. The function will be reusable, makes a program easier to test, can be modified without changing the calling program. Okay, even the simple program is easier to understand when the main function is broken down, okay, into subtasks, and that are implemented with function. For example, it's clear that the goal of this program is to calculate the square of number in this. So this is the integer main function. It will return integer two variable, integer x and the integer result. So x is 5 and the result will be the square function of x. So if you print the result, then it will give the square of 5. In order to use square function, we need to declare it. Declaration usually appear above the main function. Return type, function name and parameter. The return type is the type of value the function setbacks to calling statement. The function name is followed by the parenthesis optional parameters. Okay, parameters names with type declaration are placed inside these parenthesis parameters. The function is not required to return a value, but return type must still be the declaration. In this case, the keyword void is used. For example, the display message function declaration indicates the function does not return any value. Void display message. Let's continue. C program must have at least one function named main. True. Every C program have one function in C when the parameter type and names are included in a declaration, and the declaration is called a function prototype. When the parameter type and names are included in the declaration, it is known as function prototype. For example, the square function prototype appears main int square integer num function prototype. The square function is the integer takes one parameter of type integer. The last is defining the function. So this is declare. We can declare before the main function like this only, but we can write this is the declaration. So we can define or uh, by this integer square, that's same, but the parenthesis integer y is no. Yes, as you see, the square function calculates the returns, calculates and returns the square of its parameter. The function can take multiple parameters. In this case, they must be separated by commas. The return statement is used to send the value back to the calling statement. Triple. In this also we have to return y. So this whole function is returning the integer. We can see here if if it was void in here, it will return no return type. If the function was of no return type, but it is returning the integer type. So it is the definition, full function definition. It is returning the integer type. So what is returning is returning the value of y, which is num into 3. Functions parameters. So function parameters are used to receive values required by the function. Values are passed to these parameters as argument. Okay, as the argument, values are passed as argument, but the function receives it as a parameters. By default, arguments are passed by value, which means that a copy of data is given to the parameter of the called function. The actual variable isn't passed to the function, so it won't change. Okay, just a copy is sent. In this the copy of x and y is sent to integer x and y from this, I think. Therefore, the first argument passed to the function are matched to the parameter by positions. The first argument is passed to the first parameter, second argument is passed to the second parameter. The following demonstrate the parameter passed by value in integer sum up. Okay, integer main, yeah, so this is declaration, this is main function. In this main function, integer x y result equal to sum up this. Okay, these are passing values of x and y to the sum up function, and the result will be stored in result, and print will be in the main function. So in the sum up is doing what is doing is collecting these x and x, collecting this y and y, and x plus is equals to y, and returning x, which is, I think, which is 12 plus 3 15. The answer will be 15, I think. The program output is 15. This is simple, I think, but it has a lot of concept to do. With this program, you should, I think you should try this program, try it yourself. And the values and x and y were passed in this, value of x and y were passed to this, and the return it returned x to this, and it is collected by the result variable, and result is printed. Result x and y are printed in this format. Okay, note note that even though the value of parameter x was changed in sum up, okay, sum up, the value of argument x in main was not changed because only its value was passed into the parameter x. The parameter in the function declaration are the formal parameters. The values passed to these parameters are the arguments, sometimes called actual variable. Okay, in this, if we here print x and y, this will remain 3 and 12 only. But after it was changed, but it did not get changed. Continue both test to declare the function test taking two float parameters. Okay, it is taking two float parameters. So float. Now the variable is scope. Okay, scope variable scope refers to the visibility of that variable within a program. Okay, variables declared in a function are locally to that block and cannot be referred to outside the function. Variable outside all functions are global to the entire program. For example, constant declared with the hashtag defined at the top of the program are visible to the entire program. The following program uses both local and global variables. So in this is the global variable which is included outside this function and or any other functions, but inside this main function there is integer local 1 and local 2. This is only visible to this main function only, and no other function can access this. No other function in this program can access these functions, these variables, sorry, these local variables, but the global variables can be accessed by any function in this program. When an argument are passed to the function parameter, the parameter acts as the local variable. Upon exiting the function parameter, and any local variable in the function are destroyed, use global variable with caution. Okay, they should be initialized before using to avoid unexpected result, and because they can be changed anywhere in the program, global variables can lead to hard detect the error. Okay, so global variable can lead to hard detection in debugging. And if you don't really need to globally declare any variable, you should always prefer to write to declare your variable locally inside of particular function. Variable scope refers to the number of declared function, no. Number of variables in the program, no. The visibility of variables within a program is yes. Well done. Static variables. So the static, what are static variables? Static variables have a local scope, but they are destroyed when the function is exited. So these are the static variables. uh, what does it means? What does it means? They have the same properties as local variable, okay, but they are uh, they are they are destroyed, okay, but they are what I'm sorry, static variable have a local scope, but they are not destroyed when the function is exited. Okay, these are the static variable. Therefore, static variable returns value for the life of a program and can access every time the function is re-entered. The static variable when declared requires a prefix static. So in this, so if we if we have the state, the other local variables get destroyed after the function is exited, but the if you use the static keyword, they will be static uh, for life of a program, even the function is exited. What is in this? So num plus plus num calls, print num calls 1 2 3 4 5. Oh, this variable is working on this I. So to static int var is equals to 1. Fill in the blanks. What is the new a recursive function? What are the recursive function? The function calling itself are recursive function, I think so, but let's read out. An algorithm for solving a problem may be best implemented using a process called recursion. For consider a factorial of a number which is commonly written as 5 factorial, which is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This calculation can also be thoughtful as a repeated calculating num into num minus 1 until the norm is 1. The recursive function is one that call itself and includes the base case or exit condition for ending the recursive call. In the case of computing and factorial, the base case is norm equal to 1. For example, function declaration int main x equal to 5 into the factorial with this, and it is passed to the x is passed to the factorial function. In this, it is a factorial into num, that x to num. So if num is equals to 1, it is the base case, return to 1, else return num into factorial of num minus 1. Program output is factorial of 5 is 120. Recursive works by stacking call in the add. At that point, when the call completed from request, the factorial call stack can be thought 2 factorial 1, 3 factorial 2, 4 factorial 3, 5 factorial 4. For calculating the factorial, n into factorial back n is equals to 0, return. So what is in the return else non factorial return return 1 fact, I think. So this function is calling in itself for calculating the factor of n. Okay, I got this problem. If n is equals to 1, then only it will return to 1 return, otherwise it will return n into factorial of n minus 1. So an array is a data structure that stores a collection of relative values that are all of same type. The array is useful because they can be represented data with one descriptive name rather than using separate variables that each must be named uniquely. For example, the array test24 can hold 25 test scores. The array declaration includes the type of the values it stores, an identifier and square brackets with a number that indicates the array size. For example, the array size is 25. You can initialize array with declaring and initializing. Note the initial values are separated by commas inside the curly braces. Missing value set are set to 0. Okay, if this is 1 0 1 and other will be set to 0. What is the code? ARR. I think, oh, type is just we just need the type. This is array variable. Accessing array elements, the contents of the array are called elements, which is element accessed by the index numbers. Index number starts from 0. An array with 5 elements will have the index 0 1 2 3 4 5 4 only. Consider an array this, then where it can be thought as the 0 1 2. This is the displacement of index with the elements. The to access the array elements refer to its index numbers. For example, int printf the second element is percentage %t slash n x1, so it will print the 45. The value of an array can be changed through the assignment. So if you want to access this 260, then this is 260. It is going to be the index of the array is also referred to as a subscript. So second element of array, so this, so 0 1. Using loops in an array, many algorithms require accessing every element of an array to check for data, store information, and other tasks. This can be done in a process called traversing the array, which is often implemented with the for loop because the loop control variable naturally corresponds to array indices. Consider the following program: is the purchase of 3 for total 0. For k is equals to total plus k, okay, k 3 times. The loop control variable iterates from 0 to 1 less than the number elements. So we are iterating from 0. Loops are useful for assignment also. This is for example for assignment. Int k for k is equals to 0, ak is equals to k into 10. For I less than, so 5 print array I think of x. So now I think multi-dimensional array, two-dimensional array. Okay, so how much we are left here? Two-dimensional array pointers. There are 3 quizzes only. So this is the 1 hour session. I think we are getting to 1 hour. Let's complete. There are 2 quizzes. Two-dimensional array is an array of arrays and can be thought as a table. You can think of two-dimensional array as a grid for the different chessboard, city blocks, and another two-dimensional array declaration indicates the number of, and for example, integer a23 2 into 3 array the nested curly braces initialize elements row by row as in the for statement integer. The same element can also take the form. The former statement offers more clarity of the structure of the array. The n array can be more than 2 and for example 5 3 4 5 elements, then each store 3 elements, then each store 4. How many elements can the following array? So 2 are the rows and 5 to the 10 I think. Accessing two-dimensional array, we should give the first the array index and then the 1 2 then so 0 1 0 1 2. To access two-dimensional, both row index and column index are needed. For example, in this. Okay, this is the simple just a for loop is used to iterate one-dimensional array. Array nested for loop are used to traverse the two-dimensional array. So what is the example here? A23. This is the for A, K, and Z I think. So So just passing the array name to a function is passing a pointer to the array. Consider the following program. Program RPG total order is 451. In the blanks to declare the function int integer pointer, I think. Function then returns the array. This is pointer function return the array. Integer asterisk, I think. Just asterisk. Now what is now? Last the quiz. Fill in the blanks to declare the function taking two integer argument and returning flat integer. Okay. N equal to 0. I think trick and again print the print function. What is here? If n is less than 0, click return, I think.